I'm John, Megaplants. I'm going to show you how to make the best hanging basket you've ever had, guaranteed. Everybody's always asking me, so it's time to start making videos how to do it. Old Chinese takeaway tray, essential. Bottom of the basket, that'll be the best water reservoir the whole summer. Every time you water, that will fill up, all the fibrous roots will go into it, and you won't have plants dying because they're too hot or dry. I'm using a peaty compost, the swear word, but it's very good. Make sure you got no air gaps, don't go crazy. Level it out, make sure it's really good. Always upright geranium in the center, a zonal. A zonal, I'll tell you the difference between the zonal and trailing because everybody gets confused. That always in the middle. Every hanging basket must have a Sophinia. That is the showstopper. That's the one that gets enormous and trails all the way down to the floor. When you put one of those in, it needs more room than everything else, and you plant it quite close to the center because you're hoping some of that will sprawl over in both directions. I always use burgundy or hot pink. I never use red, never use white. The flowers are never as profuse as what they are on these. Beside them, I always put a trailing geranium. Trailing geranium has got an ivy leaf. You can see the leaf looks like an ivy opposed to round on a zonal. Everybody always wonders, how do you tell the difference? And it's so easy. I always go next to that with that because they're quite a strong plant and the Sophinia doesn't take over the zonal geranium. The other side, I always put a fuchsia for the exact same reason. It comes up as well as over, and the Sophinia doesn't suffocate it and kill either one of these plants. When you're choosing a fuchsia, I always go for the biggest flowers I can find. So when it's up there on the wall, they really stand out. Beside them, the Bacopa. Always go white, never go for the pink and blue. Flowers never as good, plants never last as well. I always go with the Bacopa. You can cram the other side with a lot more plants. The Sophinia is the main plant, but Bacopa and Nepeta, again, essential. Bacopa has millions of white flowers, a real showstopper again. Nepeta is just purely for the foliage. It has tiny blue flowers, but mainly it's about the foliage. Again, it sprawls all over. This basket should be touching the floor 6 to 8 foot long before the end of summer. And then obviously a begonia. You got to have a begonia just because the flowers are giant. They're really great because you can't overwater them and you can't underwater them. If it gets bone dry, they don't die. If it gets soaking wet, they don't die. But ideally it wants regular watering. And I always squeeze a verbena in. You squeeze a verbena in and it's just such a lot of colour. Verbena, tiny little flowers. Give it a little tidy up and you'll have the best hanging basket you've ever had, guaranteed from me, in 5 minutes with 8 plants. But you can watch it back to see what plants I used. I'm going to do some more videos telling you about bamboo, palms and everything else because I just keep getting so many questions.